G'day, how are ya? I'm Steve. Oh, what have I done? I've done it again, haven't I? Wait a minute. No, I've got to change this over. There you go. That's it. All right, we'll try that again. G'day, I'm Steve Hayes. Welcome to Woodworking Masterclass. I cannot believe. G'day, Rick B. Good morning from Tennessee. Oh, g'day, Ray from Western Australia. G'day, Ronald. Woohoo! It's like that, isn't it? I tell you what, I'm getting good at knocking me breakfast down. That was 1 minute and 17 seconds. I had a bowl of cereal. Oh, and it's still on the way down. Florida. Well, there you go, Ronald. Thank you so much. It's nice to know where people are coming from. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Yeah, I woke up and sort of muddled around and thought, oh, I'm going to stream today. The next thing I look at the clock, it was 9 o'clock, so I grabbed my cereal, bolted down here. Haven't done the thing, have not been in the workshop. G'day, Ben, how are you, mate? Oh, did you get up to the woodworking show in Brisbane last whatever it was, last week? A week before, wasn't it? Oh, South Carolina Regional, welcome. Lovely to have you back. And yeah, all of a sudden grabbed my cereal, flew down here, totally disorganised. Look at that. Got the checklist. Where are we? There we go. Got the checklist now. So I went through that, and boy, I'm pleased I've got it. I used to use it all the time before, and then I got blasé, and I thought, she'll be right, and I kept forgetting stuff. And I was going through this, so I've got to check that, get that. It's got stuff like TV screens on, SD cards in, check battery levels, fit mic, turn off compressor, turn glue pot on, fit apron. I didn't have my apron on. Oh, I better put that on. So there you go. Hey, Deb, howdy. How you going? Oh, I have not been in the shed to do anything of note since last Monday. I don't know why the week's gone. I got no idea what I've done. We had Mike last week, which was an absolute treat. And I hope you got your plane if you're watching Mike, because he had to be at the airport 5 minutes after he left here, and it's an hour drive, so I don't think he made it in that time, but haven't heard anything, and he didn't ring me up and say he missed his plane. So what happened then? Tuesday, I got no idea. I was most likely getting over Monday. Wednesday, I've got no idea what I did. Thursday, I went to the bank on Thursday. I've got no idea what I did. Friday, it was raining. Yes, I didn't do anything. Saturday, I went somewhere. And then I came home and Susie and I just, we've coined it. We had a teenage day. We just sat in front of the TV, ate chocolate biscuits and watched telly. And the two grandkids came in and said, oh, well, that's all right. We'll have a teenage day too. And sad story, my beautiful keyboard here. I was in a rush the other day and I spilt, what was it? Linseed oil, raw linseed oil over the keyboard. And I cleaned it up and I thought I did well. That was Monday afternoon. And now I just found my keys are sticking. So if I can't pull it apart, I've got to have a new keyboard. Daryl M, hi from Brizzy. Oh, just up the road, mate. We should catch up for a coffee. I was bloody working, Steve. Not happy, Jan. I love that. That would have to be the best, most quoted ad comment ever. Those of you who don't know, not happy, Jan, many, many years ago. Now listen, children. There was a day when we didn't have mobile phones. We had phone books. And one of the business phone books was the Yellow Pages. And all the ad was, this business lady is looking through the phone book trying to find her business address. And she screams out, Jan, because Jan was meant to have put the ad in the Yellow Pages. And you see Jan scurrying off to the car park to escape. And this woman leans out of the window and just screams, not happy, Jan. And I don't know, that must be 20 years old. And it has found its way into the everyday vernacular of the Australian idiom. So there you go. What do we, that stream I did, truly, that stream with Mike, I've disseminated it. And I think I've got 5 videos, which I will be loading to the members channel shortly. Apologies for the good members of the Woodworking Masterclass channel. You didn't get that last week, but yeah, that's what I was doing most of last week, editing. There you go. I've put some on YouTube, which eventually the series will go on YouTube, but in the members community part, you get the extended versions with little bits extras. But out of that 3.5 hour stream, there was an hour and 15 minutes of Mike doing stuff. Reminds me of an interview they did with Joe Cocker many, many decades ago. And they reckon after an hour-and-a-half interview, they could only use, I think it was something like 50 seconds because he was saying rude words all the time. So there we go. Oh, what? The oil will never come out. No, I know I'm going to have to pull it to bits and see if I can clean the terminals up there, Ronald. B&D Woodworking, g'day from Newburgh, Indiana. Weather is always bad. Yeah, it's a bit ordinary here. Although it's this morning, oh, it's lovely. I reckon it's about 22 degrees. It is awesome. Got up with a spring in my step. It's not stinking hot. First time I'm catching you live from Sweden. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for making the effort. Is there a schedule? Yes. This time each week is guaranteed, give or take 5 or 10 minutes. And I want to be doing more. This week I've got nothing planned for the week, so I'm hoping to get ahead with the classroom, do some more work up in the workshop, up the front end. Speaking of which, I bought the young fella, my grandson. Look at this. He pestered me after that wood show. Hang on, what's going on here? Let me just loosen this camera off. And, which one is it? There you go. I bought him his very own bandsaw. It's not a big one, but it's gonna, we've made an agreement. It's his, but it's gonna stay up in the Woodworking Masterclass classroom where students can use it, but it's his. And to his credit, he put it all together himself. I had to sort of go around and tighten a few of the bolts up, but he did the major construction himself, which I reckon is pretty good, and it works. I'll use it maybe later on. Actually, I'm quite taken with it because you all know I've got bigger bandsaws. I've got a 14-inch there and an 18-inch up in another shed. But this is so nice next to the shed, next to the bench. You can just cut stuff and away you go. We'll do a little bit more work on this one. We'll do a bit more work on this box. I want to get some lining in there. And I want to do some double bevel inlay work, which I wanted to do the other day, but with Mike and everything, we got all carried away and we didn't get to do it, so I'll be doing some of that. Plus, if there's anything else you would like to know, see, or do, let me know. Oh, that's what you put up, the not happy ad. Yeah, it's good, Ray. Thanks for that. I stream this time every week, Raymond. Give or take 5 or 10 minutes. But I'm going to try and up it so I can get some more. Yeah, Daryl, I don't know. It could be, well, it could be 30 years old. I don't know, but it was very, very good, very good. Steve streams pretty much every Monday, Australian Queensland, 9 AM. Hi, Ed. How are you? Welcome back. Welcome back, Ed Black. There you go. All right. So I've got to get a little bit organised here, which most of you know doesn't work. Hey, Chevrolet, my day is coming out good. You're here, so it's improved. There you go. I don't know what to do first. Actually, I might have a crack at this double bevel, because if I can do that, then I might inlay it in something, if it works out. This is a little motif that I got from the internet. I just had to change the size of it, not the side of it. I had to change the size of it because I only want it small, and I want to inlay it into a cabochon shape. I'll show you my saw table in a minute. It's looking sad. Actually, I could put that on there. Yeah, I might do that. Into a cabochon. And then I want to inlay that into another cabochon and scallop the edges. And also do a reverse on it, which you'll see what I mean in a minute. The good thing about these, so that's a cabochon shape I want, and that's one I cut out last night. Where are we? You can't see. Stephen, wake up. I tell you how dopey I am. I got up this morning, my youngest grandson, he said, oh, I said, what's the matter, darling? Oh, he said, I slept in, I'm a bit dozy. I said, yeah, fair enough, I'm a bit that way. And I have shredded wheat and peaches for breakfast. But before I do anything, I make a cup of tea for my lovely wife, Susie, and 2 chocolate biscuits. And I was that I put my shredded wheat into a cup of tea. And from the bedroom I hear, I don't like shredded wheat. Oh dear. Anyway, I messed that one up because I was half asleep again. That actually has been cut out at 90 degrees, so it will not do a double bevel. So I'll show you what I mean by double bevels, and we'll move on to that just about straight away. Which do you prefer to sharpen, a hand plane on a whetstone or an oil stone, one better than the other? Look, honestly, Rick, it's personal preference. Personally, I use oil stones because that's what I started using all those years ago, 30 odd years ago. Here you go. Whoop. Ah, this is one I bought. Yeah, it'd be about 30 years old, that one. And it's been dressed a few times and it works fine. And yet I've got other friends, people that I know, and they swear by water stones. In fact, I did have a water stone that Christian from Japanese Tools Australia gave me when we were doing the Room for Woodwork TV series. And that was because I didn't want to use kerosene or oil in the house. I just wanted to use a water stone. And he was at the last wood show I demonstrated at a couple of weeks ago, and I actually gave it back to him. I said, mate, I really appreciate this. I have used it once and not again. So better off he has it and he might be able to resell it or use it as a demonstration one. I really appreciated the thought behind it, and I would have loved to use it more, but I don't tend to use flat water stones. I use Tormek water stones all the time, and that seems to be my sharpening system of choice. If you've got a water stone system, I would suggest, the record have got one too. Mike was talking about it last week, and it doesn't matter if you've got a Tormek, well, it matters to Tormek because they like selling systems, but a Tormek, a Trident, a Shepic, a Record Power, a Jet, whatever brand you use, once you change over to that, I personally would not go back to flat stones if I'm in my workshop. Yes, it's great to know how to use a flat stone because sometimes you're in a situation where you haven't got the luxury of a water stone wheel. And so you might have to resort to using flat stones, so it's good to have that skill. But I find by using the Tormic, in my case, it's good because everything's the same angle, in as much as, well, I can set it to exactly the angle that I've got, so I'm not reshaping it all the time. And as we discussed the other day when Mike was here, I only use a primary angle when I'm using the Waterstones because I don't see the need for a secondary angle. Although I used to use the water wheel and then still put a secondary angle on it until I had discussions with Tormic in Australia, and we had a bet, and I lost the bet. And the bet was that it was more efficient to have a secondary angle on your chisel if you're using a wet system rather than just go with a primary angle. And my argument was I get back to the bench quicker. But where it comes unglued is the other end. When you have to totally reshape that chisel, it takes a lot longer. So it was there, and then I decided I would just use a primary and not bother about a secondary. I just got to check these glasses, see which ones are the ones I want. Actually, these are the ones I want for scroll sawing. Okay. Howdy, Doc, how is it? Oh, what's on the bench? Mess at the moment, mate. I'll get down there. So I hope that answers your question, Rick. It's just personal preference. I will say oil stones, they might cut a little bit slower, but they wear a lot slower, whereas water stones might cut quicker, but they wear a lot quicker as well. Any tips on for the Super New, Steve? What? Any tips for the Super New? Super New what, Ronald? I'm so tired. I'll watch the whole vid tomorrow. I have an image I took of a veneered table. It was book matched perfectly in quarters. I understand making. Oh, that's great. Put a picture up of it. Aru? Michael, good morning. Yeah, well, I want to do some double bevel work, Paul. And that's what I'm working up to. I'm dribbling at the moment. Well, there you go. Paul prefers oil stones too. Yeah, look, DMT's good. I've got DMT. DMT, by the way, if you didn't know, are diamond stones. They're metal plates with a frosting of industrial diamonds on the top. I do use them, and yes, they will get you an edge, but I find they're a little bit too aggressive for finessing. And I know you can get 8,000 grit and all that sort of stuff, but that's my personal experience. They're a little bit rough, but to get an initial cutting edge, absolutely, DMTs will do the job. Now, I'm just poking through this because I'm trying to find something. Look, I've still got those tools here on the bench. I better take those off. Mike, you left your chisels behind. Oh, I think young Anthony might have just scored himself a set of chisels. Now, whoops. Ooh. Oh, I tell you what, we'll do those two. That looks nice. I like that. Why do I need to change the live stream title? What have I got? Oh, have I still got Mike up there, have I, mate? Thank you for that. Let me have a look. Oh, I'd better do that too, eh? How do I do that? Wait a minute, and I'll update that. If I can, if it's going to. There we go. Okay. Oh, I can't do that now. I'm going to have to go around here, so you're just going to have to play I Spy on the Wall for a little bit. Oh, and I'll change the title. There we go. More box making and some double bevel work on the scroll saw. Boom. Done. Okay. Thanks, Ray. I should put that on my to-do list, shouldn't I? Now if I come back here, there we go. No, I've lost the chat. Wait a minute. There it is. Okay. Good thing I'm retired furniture maker. I caught this by accident. Well, there you go. I think I'm a furniture maker by accident. I'm very pleased at the accident, but nice to have you on board. Thank you very much, Taylor. Interesting seeing the carving as I have dabbled with it. Okay, carving, that was the last one, and I'll be posting the videos very soon, but we're going to do some marquetry, which I hope is also of interest to you. And we'll move on. Any preference of Japanese saw versus gent saw for dovetails or other bulky joints? Again, personal preference. If it's light timber I'm working in, I don't mind a solid edge back saw, Japanese saw. That's the one I use. If it's heavier timber, say 3/8 or 19 mil, box making 10 mil, 12 mil Japanese is fine. But I'm very, very partial to this saw, which is the Nilson Dovetail Saw. It's 15 TPI, and it worked fantastic on 10 mil, 20 mil, whatever. It's got a lovely set of teeth on it, cuts well, and it's a tapered blade. If you can see there, it's thicker there than it is there. And the theory behind it, well, it's not theory, in practice it works. When you're cutting, excuse me, the back edge of the dovetail, which is facing you, you can see your line, and when you cut to that line, this part of the saw will cut down to the end of the line you're cutting, but providing the saw is parallel to the ground, you're going to be short of the line on this side, and that is a great bonus because it stops you from cutting through the other side when you can, where you can see you've gone too far. So that's the Nilson tapered dovetail saw. Lovely bit of kit. And if you're in Australia, give Anthony a ring. I haven't got his phone number offhand. Or do I? Have I got my... Yeah, there you go. Look him up online. Nilson, Australia. Or Anthony... Get his mobile, or the number is 0882931499. So it's 0882931499. That'll get you Anthony at Nilson, Australia in South Australia. Tell him you're watching Steve on Woodworking Masterclass and you'd like to know a little bit more about the dovetail saw. It is a little ripper. So I hope that answers your question, Deb. If I could only choose one, I would choose the Nilson because it is more adaptable. The other thing is with these, they have a disposable blade. So once that gets ruined, you just take it out and put a new one in. Whereas obviously with a back saw, you sharpen it. Oh, now. All right, Taylor, have some lunch. But keep an eye, if you subscribe to the channel, you'll get notifications. There'll be, I put up a video last night about Mike talking about the tools and everything. Today the techniques will be going up, the way to hold the chisel and the reasons behind it. And then tomorrow an actual project from woe to go will be going up. So there you go. So enjoy your lunch. Derek, good day from Kentucky. Oh, Ukraine. Yeah. Yaroslav, is that it? Thank you from Ukraine. Lovely to have you back again this week. Keep your finger away from the sharp bits. Listen to this man. Paul knows what he's talking about. And that's true. Yeah, wood can be sharp. I've cut myself on wood before. You're welcome, Deb. Is that due to angle of the cut or the hardness, or maybe both, I would imagine? Are you talking about the... Yeah, look, it's more the toughness of the material. Those Japanese saws, excellent saws, but not as rugged or as tough as the back saw. Oh, in that case, go for his... Oh, no, yes, that's true, because that was his old shop. So don't... That number I just gave out for Anthony, no, that was his old shop. Don't use it. It won't happen. Well, good on you, Dan. Enjoy your trip. You don't watch that square arrow. Okay. I have Lee Nelson. Yeah, nothing wrong with Lee Nelson. Good stuff, Ed. All right, so I'm going to bring this scroll saw over here and I'll show you what I've done to the veneer, which I did last night. Oh, and I'll show you a little trick too that I just, actually through necessity, this came into being. Oh, got all tangled up with cables here. Wait a minute. It's the trouble, all the cables are black. It's going into the... Oh, here we go. Oh! Oh, that will plug in there, hopefully. Yep. And then bearing in mind, as always, this is live, so catastrophes can and do happen with regular monotony. Now, if you choose to do this, I would strongly suggest you glue paper to at least one side of the veneer, because that's going to hold all the grain together. I was doing this a little while ago and I was using a paperback veneer. This I've had to glue paper onto, and it holds everything together. I've glued it onto the front, so I'm actually going to be working reverse, so I'm going to have to think about this for a bit. And I'll bring this one around. We'll see how we're going with that one. Actually, we put this up here before, didn't we? Let's put this up on the la table, and we get a downward shot, which should be, whoops, quite good. If we can get it. Don't want to look at me, yuck. There you go. All right, oh, look at that. OHC, overhead camera. This little fella here, wherever it is, hang on, we'll go over here. Okay, this is called an Archimedes drill. and it works by pushing down. Let's go here. By pushing down on this handle here, and as I do that, it actually twists and turns the drill. That is a number 70 drill bit, which is the hole I need to put this very, very fine blade in, which I'll show you how fine the blades are. Here's one that's bent. You see how fine that is? You can hardly see it. So very, very fine blade indeed. Not the finest, but it is fine. Now what I'm going to do is, I've got to think about this because I'm not sure which way I'm going to go. I'm going to draw the pattern onto a piece of waste, which I'll just go and get a bit of waste veneer. We can't find it here. I'll just grab a bit of myrtle, hang on. Wouldn't you know it, I'll go on and put it away in the next shed. Hang on, I'll just go and get it. There we go. Let's get a couple of sheets of this. That'll do. I should have flattened this out too, maybe. Can't think of everything. Oh, I got my new old jointer up and running the other day. I don't know if those of you remembered I picked a new jointer up the other day and the blades needed a bit of a tickle on them. So I'll just cut this off. See, isn't it great having this little bandsaw here? I can just do this. I've got to think. I'm not real good at that sometimes. Now the interesting thing is, first of all, we have to tilt the table at, a lot of people say, 15 degrees. I prefer 13.5. Call me pedantic, but it comes down to the thickness of the veneer and also the size of the saw that you're using. And for me, 13.5 degrees works quite well. So I'm just going to drop this down. Okay, it's going to be close enough for me. If you can see that, so I've tilted it 13.6, it's close enough for 13.5 for me. And if in case you're wondering what these are, they're surgical scissors. And what I found when I was demonstrating on the weekend at the wood show, the bit at the bottom that clips on, sometimes, especially when you've got people watching you, it's a little bit difficult to get on. It's not hard, but you know, sometimes when you're trying to thread a needle and you've got people watching you, no one's there, you can do it straight away. So what I came up with was these clamps that when because with this, what I'm doing, this double bevel, it's actually pierced work. So when I have to undo the top part, wherever that's gone, and thread this blade through the veneer, it was coming off the bottom one and causing me a great amount of consternation. So what I came up with, I use these in marquetry. They just go on there and they just clip on, holds the blade in place, then I can do whatever I choose to do. Now I've just got to find the other part of the saw now. Weight 1. Oh, that's interesting. Where did that go? Don't tell me I can't find that. Well, I don't think you'll have to tell me. I think I've just realised that myself. If I can't do it with this, I've got another machine over there I could use. Where the dickens did it go? It's good to have a tidy workshop. At least I can see where things are. But unfortunately, whoops. Oh! I'm just grovelling around on the floor at the moment, seeing if I can find that little black piece. Oh. Would you credit that? Well, I suppose you would. Oh. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, that's a nuisance. It's a big nuisance. Well, we might have, well, we won't go, I'll use a different machine because I can't find the top bit. I was using it yesterday. Well, that's just very, very annoying. Oh well. Might have to change machines. Not that one either. All right, let's go over to a different machine and we'll do it there. Sorry about that, folks. Let's just One of the many mysteries. I bet you I'll find it as soon as I stop streaming. That's all right. We'll go to a different saw and I'll do it. But what we've got to do is, this is going to be the front. Let me catch up with the chat because I'm sure there's a bit there now since I lost the plot. Whoa. There's some great magazines in the 80s, aren't there, Dan? I've got a heap of them. I haven't read them yet. And I've bought some books from the 60s and 70s, and they have got some great projects in there. Hey, Dr. Crazy, how you going? Nice to have you. Oh, guten Tag. Oh, there you go. Well, it's better than Auf Wiedersehen, isn't it? That one's just thrown me for a loop, Deb. I was using it yesterday, and then there we go. Doesn't matter, we'll go over to my old clunker. And we will use that. Okay, so I'll just change this one again. I really wanted to do it on that little saw too. You know that old one about, no, that's not a knife, this is a knife. Well, no, that's not a scroll saw. This is a scroll saw. Here we go. She's a old one, this one. But it works well. It's just not the sort of thing you can walk around and carry. Just move these. And I've got to drop this one. 13.5 degrees now. That has got me. I bet you I find it as soon as I've finished. As soon as I've finished, I'll find it. Set this one to 13.5. And we'll go that way. There you go. All right. Well, that's set up over there. So I'm going to be working from the back, and it depends on how you cut. It's very confusing. That's why I wanted to show you on this one, because I've got all the camera angles. If you move your workpiece anti-clockwise, that's in the anti-clockwise direction, then the top part that you cut out will fit into the bottom. But the bottom one won't fit into the top. There's going to be too much of a gap. However, if you cut it clockwise, that is turning the material clockwise as you cut, then the bottom one will fit into the top, but the top one is going to be too loose for the bottom. You're just going to have to trust me on that, because it's the way it is. Okay, so let's cut these off. Now, where's... Okay. So what I'll do one clockwise and one anti-clockwise, if I can. I should have glued more of that. I've got some of that, so that's all right. Now we can, okay, I'll do one of these first, then I'll do the other ones in some poplar, which will look quite nice too. So I'm going through the back. This is the front, back, front. And I want this one to drop into that. No, I want this one to drop into the bottom one. There you go, that's what I want. So what I want is black in, I want black in there. Okay, we'll put black into that, and then we'll put that in all. Excuse me, I'm thinking, I'm deep in thought. That's just throw me for a loop, losing that part. Yeah, we'll put the black into the gold, I think. Okay, done. And I want 2 bits of scrap, so I'm going to sandwich those between these 2 bits. I'm going to say I'm going to have to do this one again so I can do a video of it. Now I'll take this away because this isn't going to be any good to us at the moment, which is a very great pity. And I'm going to use, if I'm going reverse, I want it reversed, don't I? Yes. So I want the reverse one, which is this one. I'm going to transfer this, which is the reverse of that one, because I'm coming from the back. So I'm going to put this onto whatever it is that I'm cutting. Oh dearie dear, I'll just sharpen my pencil up. Yeah, as Mike said the other day, pencil carbon paper seems to be getting harder to get. I mean, you can get it, but it used to be every office supply place or every news agency used to have it, but not now. So we'll follow that shape as best we can. All right. So that's the shape that I want. And I'll place that onto that ebony, and we'll place that onto Lembornia, and then we'll put this as a backing on the back. And what I might do is staple that. Normally I'd use a tape or something if things were all nice and equal, but they're not. So I'm just going to staple that into place. Ordinary staples, nothing flash, nothing fancy. As I said, you can use tape. Whoops. So that's what they call a packet. I'll just tidy this up. Enough there to do the other thing I want to do, which is good. Now, it's quite a common practice to make packets if you're going to do a lot of flowers or something or other and you want a lot of the one shape and you're using a different method of marquetry, and you cut it with the table at 90 degrees. That way you get the shape like we got. Can't even find that other one there. There we go. Oops, I just broke it. Okay, we can get that shape there, and then you inlay that using a different method of inlay, and you will have a gap with that one. Whereas this double bevel system, there is no gap whatsoever. Now, using the Archimedes drill, you drill through, where are we? There you go. You drill through all 4 levels. Pick a place. I generally go somewhere where it's not obvious. So actually that one looks good there. Right where a bun is. And I've got a hole underneath there, so I'm not going to break my drill bit, hopefully. And then you just drill through there, and there's your hole. It's gone all the way through. What we've got to do now is thread, go over to the saw and thread the saw blade through that, and then we can go about cutting. So come over to the saw and we'll see how we go. There we go. See how the saw threads through that hole? Now we just put that back up in there. And because I want this one to fit in the bottom piece, I'm going to go anti-clockwise. I'll just make sure that I've got that. Tight enough. Okay. And I'm going to turn this anti-clockwise, so I'll be going this way. I'm just making sure you can get that all. Okay, here we go. So I'm going this way. Okay, let's go. See how I'm turning the workpiece counterclockwise? I might just change my other pair of glasses. That one's just a wee bit out of focus. It should be better. Oh, that's much better. Look at that. If you vary from the line a little bit, it doesn't matter because no one's going to see the original.
Hey, Papa.
Hey, darling, how you going? You can stay there for a bit, I'll be with you. Have a look at your bandsaw. It's looking good, eh? I told everyone it was your bandsaw and you put it together. Nice and quiet. Yeah, you're going to get that, but it's not as much. I actually have a foot pedal here that I'm using to control the bandsaw. No, I'm talking on the stream, mate. Okay, there we have it. And we pull that out. And there are the shapes that we've cut out. So we go over to the bench. Going to say hi?
Yes.
So you were pretty happy with that bench, weren't you?
Yes, I will.
Yes. And you're going to do a project?
Probably.
Look at the camera, the people were there. Probably? No, definitely.
Yes.
So what's Nan, she gone out?
Yes,
Okay.
gone out with that.
That's all right. No dramas. So you down here for a bit, or you just pop down to say good day, or what?
I'm in here for a little bit.
Well, that's all right. There's a seat over there if you want. Move that stuff.
Yeah, this call is tough.
Well, move it. That's what God gave you arms for.
I know that.
Tell you what I am missing. I'm missing the bottom part of the scroll saw.
Which one?
The top part to hold the blade. If you can find that, that'd be awesome. I don't know where it is.
Is that where you had it last?
Yeah, over there. I was using it. Oh, I took that off because I was cutting something. And I didn't need it in the way.
What's in there? Drill bits.
Yeah. It's the downside of putting staples in, you've got to take them out. And make sure if you do use staples, you don't have them where the design's going to be marked by them.
You ever done that before, Papa?
Yeah, many times. That's where I learned not to do it. Let's take these out. All right, so now we'll have a look and see what we've got.
That's a lot easier to move up and down now.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, don't need those anymore. And these are the ones that we've got. And they're facing a different way, and I'll show you what I mean about one will fit in and one will fit out. Actually, we did that. We must have done that the wrong way around. But doesn't matter. If you have a look at that, you'll see there's no light going through there at all. But if you have a look at this one, there is a gap. Hold it this way. There's a gap all the way around, which sometimes you can use to an advantage. So you can still use that and always, oh, let's took that up to the house. But if you want to have zero gap, you've got to use it the other way. So what we've done, okay, we've done it this way, that's all right, doesn't matter. What we'll do is glue that in and then cut an oval around it. But you see how the newspaper has kept all the fibres intact. We haven't lost any of it. Well, it's not too bad in that one either. Okay, so we'll get another sheet of paper. Newspaper, mate, newspaper. Tell you what, that has thrown me. That's thrown me a curly. Not finding that other bit. But, doesn't matter. We will survive. we'll adapt. Okay. So what I might do first is, so I might just cut this circle out first, and we'll do that by hand. And we can press it. So I've got that over the top. Is that the one I want, or do I want the smaller one? No, I'll have the smaller one. All right. That there. And where's my knife?
I have no idea.
And like Mike was talking about last week, you're going to have to go along to shoot. No, actually, no, forget what I just said. I'm quite happy doing it this way. Whoops. Okay. They're not talkative streams when I'm doing this, are they?
No.
I was talking to them, but it's nice of you to agree with me.
Yeah.
Where's Bob?
No idea. Last time I saw him is up front.
And the front of what?
The house.
Oh, can you get him down here?
Sure.
So I don't want that poxy mailman having another shot at him. Tell him I've got breakfast for him, that'll get him down here.
Oh, you've got breakfast tomorrow?
Yep. Okay. Nearly done here. Hey, Bob! I'm thinking you didn't love me anymore. I guess he found the food.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the cabochon shape. And we'll glue that into there. You can actually hear it clicking in. Ow, 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 ow. Ooh, that's hot. I'll pop that in there like a bit of paper out of there. This paper on the back of the silhouette went on by accident. So normally I wouldn't have paper on here, but we'll fix that up a little bit later on. Okay, I'm just going to go and put that in the press. Back in the tick. And what you can do with the other one that you cut out, wherever it may be, you save that one and you can use it for something else later on. Same with these frames. If that's clean enough, you can use that a little bit later on to frame something else. You could put it over a piece of emboiner if you like that, and then that can be a frame and that can be the mat board around the frame. So you're not wasting anything and you can keep nearly everything you cut out and use it for something else. All right, well that one's done. Comedy of errors, chain of events, but doesn't matter. If nothing else, I hope something you can take away from these streams are, doesn't matter what happens, you can always fix it and make something out of it. There's no dramas. That one I did the wrong way. I have no idea why, because as far as I was concerned, I was going anti-clockwise. But that's just the way sometimes it turns out. Just got to be adaptable. All right. I'll have a chat and then we'll get back into this other box. And then we'll work on the other box. And then that one we just did might be dry, so we can have a play with that as well. Throw that away. Change glasses so I can read the chat. There we go. Oh, that's one thirsty Bob today. Yeah, he is. He is. He's a good lad. Chris, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Lovely to have appreciation shown that way. So what I do is heart energy out to you. How far back do I go? I think I've missed most of it, but I'll catch up to where I am now. So apologies for anyone else that's spoken. Right? If you ask the question, ask it again, please, because then I can catch it. I'm thrown off, I'll admit it. Which way was the decimal point, Chris? Paul? Yeah, he's not bad for 14 years old, is he? He's a strapping lad. Oh, no, rain the other day, I got full tank, so it doesn't matter. Do you sell any of your veneer? Yes, I do, Michael. What sort do you want? I think I've got about 94 different varieties of it, all in my woodshed. Now, I've got to go and do these other oh, no, I said I'd do that first, didn't I? All right. What I do want to do is, I was going to do that. Don't know. I'll do another one of those a little bit later on. But right now, I'll do a bit more work on this one. This is one we've been working on for those of you that have recently joined us for a while. And what it is, it's just a comedy of errors. Because every time I do something, I seem to mess it up. And then I have to fix it. So what started out as one design has been changed copious amounts. But just to demonstrate that if things go wrong, so what? Just keep on going. There's nothing that bad. And look, worst case scenario, you throw it in the bin, who cares? Actually, these pateras that I've made here when I was at the wood show, I don't know, I made about half a dozen of them, I think, and they were in the back of the truck. I cleared the truck out the other day and I thought, what am I keeping those for? So I threw them all away because I didn't want them. And the project was to make them so people could see, not to make them so I could keep them. And I thought, isn't that funny? A lot of people that, you know, they'd have to put it into something. But no, don't care. It's all gone. Okay. Whoops. Knock up these corners. What I'm doing here, I just veneered the edges. Hang on, excuse me. Someone's ringing. Oh, I don't know who that is. Hello, this is Steve. Hello. Isn't that nice? They ring you up and put you on hold. Now get nodded, not interested. Go on, go away. How rude's that? Okay. Get a bit of 120 here, I think. So I've just trimmed the outside of that off. Now I'm just going to feather it over. I thought it might have been Theo. There you go. And then you can hardly see that line. Whereas here, you can definitely see that line on top. But if you just feather it over with a bit of sandpaper, it blends in nicely. And trust your fingers. Your fingers will tell you more about getting it right than your eyes will a lot of times, but your fingers will pick up the slightest imperfection, whereas your eye can gloss over it and go, oh no, it should be right. Just clear off the rest of that stuff around that end, boy. Bit tricky here because it actually is raised on this. It's flush here and there, but this is actually raised to give me a 3D effect, and the same on this side. And again, for those of you that are relatively new, these bits here were put on because I sanded through this side. So we thought we'd try an experiment, which worked out very well. Now the trick is, if you're going to do what I've just done there, make sure that everything else is sanded nice and smooth, because you won't be able to get in there and sand it otherwise. You'll end up taking chunks off of here. Round it over on the corners. And this side. And how I sanded through there, I was being lazy and used a random orbital sander, and actually said you've got to be very careful because you can go through the veneer, and I promptly went straight through the veneer. So you just got to watch it. Whereas I'm not saying you can't sand through using hand sanding, but generally you catch it before it becomes an issue. Okay, so that's nicely rounded there. So if we put this onto this, it should look quite good. So now we've got to do the inside, and where it's hanging over the inside, you can, if you want, use a knife, but I don't recommend it and go like that. But so often you can slip, rise up and come into the part you don't want to cut. So what I use is sanding block, and what I do whenever I buy a cork block, in most cases, I cut some plywood off. Whatever the thickness of the plywood is, I take that off the cork block and then glue that on. That way I've got a hard edge and I've got a soft edge. And this one I want to use the hard edge. And again, when you're using your sandpaper or abrasive paper, put your thumb on there and stretch it over the other side so you don't get a belly in it and it won't catch. If you can go with it, go with the grain in a slicing motion like I'm doing here. And that'll give you a pretty decent edge. Yeah, which way is this grain going? Sometimes It's hard to tell because it's going that way. So I will sand it that way. We mentioned earlier about splinters. Be very careful with veneer because it can go in quite deep. Okay, so what I'm going to do now with a bit of 220, I'm just going to go in with my fingers and just make sure it's nicely rounded over. Get right into the corners. Got a bit of glue or something in there, so just knock that out with a chisel. It feels like a bit of glue. There we go. A little bit here too. Not that critical with this at the moment because I'm going to line this box with cedar, which we might even start to do. Down the track I'll line another box with material to show you how to line the box with material. Okay. Oh, still got a bit of roughness there. Bye, Ronald. Are you off? Have to go, guys. Work early this morning. Catch you next time. Thanks for dropping in. Automatic marketers last hand the phone to the boil bolt. In America, you cannot disconnect the call on their end. Oh, there you go. Don't get a belly. Easy on blowing the... Yeah, I just realised that one, Stephen. I actually looked for my compressor, but I've got the nozzle in the truck because I couldn't find the one in the truck. But anyway, that's the way it goes. Yeah, belly. This is what I was talking about. If that was a query there, Dan. A lot of times, if you just put the abrasive paper on the block like that, see that? That catches and it'll rip your paper. Whereas if you hold it here and use this finger to stretch it across like that, so there's no belly, it's flat on the stone. That way your paper lasts longer and you don't ruin your job. Okay, well I'm marginally happy with that one. What I might do, I might just hit that with a bit of 320 and put a coat on this just to see how it's going to come up with that emboiner. Let's give it a bit of 220, we'll just knock a bit of that off. Actually, what we used to use, and I should just start using it again, not blowing it off, a paintbrush. So hold it down the ground and just brush it down to the ground like that. And that stops you from going and breathing all the muck in. So thanks, Stephen, for the reminder. I apologise if it's not high energy. I tell you what, that has knocked me for a 6. I had my routine down pat what I was going to be doing. And then when I lost that bit, I thought, oh, that's stuffed me up. But it doesn't matter, we still got it done. I might come back with, I'll use a bit of 120. Hey, I'll tell you what, I haven't got the air conditioner on either. That's how nice it is. Although, doing this sanding, I'm thinking I might put it on. Where's my air conditioner doodad thingamajiggle? Oh no, that sounded like someone outside, but I think they were down the road a ways. So not many people drive into my backyard. But you never know, do you? You never know. Oh, there you go. Look at that. How good am I? I am so organised, I forgot I was organised. The air conditioning thingo. What's going on here? Go away. Don't know what happened there. Is, well, you can't see it. See how I can move this because it's on wheels. There you go, air conditioner control. Look how organised is that. Only taken me I don't know how many years. So that's it. And if I put it back, it'll be there for next time. There we go. Okay, now I'll have a go with a bit of 220. A bit off there as well. See what I meant? That to me, that looks as if it's flat. But when I actually rub my finger over it, no, it's not. It is now. I would trust your fingers more than your eyes. Okay. Now we'll just see how this looks with a lick of de-wax blonde shellac. That's what we'll use. What have I got there? Oh, there you go. That's the stuff I want. Oh. So I've got the ladies from Libron coming soon with all the beautiful Libron products. I'm quite looking forward to that. And we're going to do some videos for her and talk about some of the great products they've got. Right now I'm looking for a brush. If I can't find one, I'll come over here and get one out of the brush box. There we go. This one will do. And we'll see which camera's going to be good. This one, okay. Oh, hang on, what's that one look like? We'll use this one. It's going to come up all right. There's a couple of reasons for doing this. One, it gives you encouragement because you can see, oh, that's going to look nice. But another reason is it gives a small amount of protection to the timber. If you mark it or drop something or splash something on it, it's going to go into the shellac and it won't go into the veneer itself. So there's a little bit of protection happening there. But I think that's... I'm really happy with that little bit. I'll just give it a bit of a touch up along the top. Doesn't matter if it goes down on the inside, because as I said, I'm going to line this anyway. I used to use ordinary orange shellac, but my shellac of choice really is de-wax blonde because it will not darken, whereas you'll find ordinary shellac, and I'm talking a long time, many years, yellow shellac, orange shellac will go orange, especially if it's in the sun, and if you use it over a red timber, it really mutes the colours, whereas the de-wax blonde just maintains those colours, which is really quite nice. I think we'll put that to one side. Well, I'll just have a quick squeeze, see what it looks like when it's all got the bits and pieces on it. Oh, that's starting to come up all right, isn't it? I'm starting to get quite happy with it. This colour here will match that once I give this another coat. In fact, I'll do it now just in case you don't think I'm telling you the truth. There you go. See, It matches it. That looks quite nice. Oh, I might give it all another coat. Oh, grumbles, I don't know. Got a long way to go yet. There's nowhere close to being finished. But it does. It encourages you to keep going because you can see it's starting to look quite acceptable. Quite pretty. And the good thing is, the majority of that prettiness comes out of the fact that we made mistakes along the way. So I'm just going to put that over here and separate it so it doesn't get stuck together. I'll go over and see if this cabochon is dry. If so, we'll move on to the next stage of it. Oh, I think for our purposes it's going to be dry enough. I hope. There you go. Just get rid of this. See, and I said I'd use a brush. I should use it, shouldn't I? Make a liar out of me otherwise. Oh, excuse me. Just clean the brush up. Oh dear. Here we go. All I use here is DAA, and the brushes get clean pretty quick. Good thing about shellac, I mean, if you're really slack, like I am sometimes, and you don't clean your brush out for a month, it's rock hard. You just put it in DAA, leave it for an hour or so, and that shellac just melts off. Unlike enamel paint or acrylics, it cleans up really nicely. Now with that amount of shellac in it, if I left my brush in there and took it out, the brush would then be hard again. So I'm going to empty that out. So I'll put it in there. Doesn't matter, it just thins the shellac down a little bit. Makes it go longer, because every time you take your lid off the shellac, the alcohol has a tendency to evaporate anyway. And we'll just put another dose of this in here, give the brush another swirl. If you have a look at that, there's hardly any discoloration at all. So once I take this out and dab it, it will dry, it'll dry as if it's got a crust on it, but you just run it through your hands a couple of times and it softens up. There you go. You just shape it, the original shape. This is badger hair. That's the big one. They're a couple $100 each now, those, I think. It's a 2-inch, and this is 1 inch. But that's all they get used for, is French polishing or shellac work. All right. Let's have a chin wag. What is happening in the world of the chat room? What? So easy blowing that dust. I understand the belly. Thought it was, oh, Well, that's another way of doing it. You could staple it down, I suppose. Is it that cold that the box needs a coat or maybe a shirt? Oh dear. It's something in the air today, isn't there? Everyone's got it. And I've lost one of my chisels too. No, it needs a coat so it looks smart. You go out, you got a coat on, people think you're smart. You're a snappy dresser. Oh. All right, what did we get up to here? Oh, 0 degrees. I'm happy with 22. I'm pretty sure we're 22 here. G'day, Tango. Lovely for you to drop in. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, Murphy's Law reigns supreme. Actually, I like Patterson's Law. Patterson's Law states Murphy was an optimist. Oh, yeah, I can relate to that one. Yeah, watch, as soon as I stop streaming, I'll find that blimmin' thing. Anyway, doesn't he matter? Let me just put this stuff away and we'll get into doing a bit more of this inlay. Don't need that anymore, that can go there. Can have a big sharpening day too soon. I've got to get all my tools sharpened. So it's going to be a boring stream, me sharpening tools, but it's all right because it has to be done. Let me just move that remote there and this remote up here. What is DAA? That's it, Warwick, you got it. Denatured absolute alcohol. In other words, from what I understand, they used to sell it just as pure alcohol, and in the days of Prohibition, they used to use it to make bootleg. And then Elliot Ness and his mob decided they'd put some very unpleasant tasting stuff in it. So it's denatured or denatured absolute alcohol. Believe me, from one who knows, not doing it on purpose, doing it mistakenly, it tastes horrible and it gives you a buzz in about 15 seconds and it's really not pleasant, really not nice at all. I was, back in the days when I used to enjoy a beer or three, I was working late one night in the workshop, and in those days you used to be able to get what we call in Australia stubbies, I don't know what they are, 13-ounce bottles of beer, and they were clear. So I used to put my shellac in them. And one day I had a beer there, and it was pretty close to the colour of the shellac, and it was late at night, and I'd been working all day, and I grabbed hold of the shellac and took a swig, and realised very, very quickly that I'd made a mistake, and oh, boy, not a nice experience. But to add insult to injury, when I'd worked it out, the next thing, I picked up my rubber, which you do the French polishing with, and I tipped beer on it. So that was the day I decided, no, I wouldn't stop drinking beer while I was working, but I'd drink beer out of dark glass, and then I wouldn't make that same mistake again. All right, where are we up to now? Now that can go. What? Come here, you. Want you. Come here. Come on. Get out of there. Okay. So, what I'm going to do with this one is put it in an oval. What have we got? Okay. I'm going to put it in an oval of this. So we'll go, that way goes that way, that's the back, that's the back, that's the back. And we'll just see how it's going to go. Okay, which camera shall we use? Might use bench cam again, I think. I'm going to draw this around here. Oh, at the moment, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We use double-sided tape or masking tape. Oh, no, sticky tape I think we use. We use clear, ordinary sticky tape. And let me just get this up here and we'll... There you go, look at that. Can hold this down with ordinary sticky tape. Bear in mind we're still working from the back. And grab a carving chisel. This is personal preference, it doesn't matter what you do. Or you can actually do it by hand. I much prefer using a carving chisel because it gives me much more defined results. Generally I use a 10/8, so I think, let me have a look. So this is what Mike was talking about the other day. So that's a 10/8, that's a 7/25, you've got all these things, whereas with his system, you don't need to worry about any of that. You just, that's the one I want, you just go by the number. Oh. Okay, I'm just going to brighten this up a little bit on the Tormek. Just give it a bit of a hone on the edge. Thing is with carving chisels, providing they're not badly abused, you can get away with just keeping a hone up to them and keep that fine edge. And they do have jigs for this, but I'm pretty used to doing it, so I'm not going to worry about it. That's a leather wheel I've got on the other end. Okay. Now that's giving me a really nice fine edge on that tool. And what we will do, we will come back here and I'll show you what I do. I try not to start somewhere obvious. I don't start here, I don't start there, won't start there or there, because at some stage we're going to have to do an overlap. And if we do an overlap, it can be a bit obvious. And so if you have it out of the obvious places, the eye will generally overlook it. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing there? Okay, so all I'm doing is just going rocking from side to side and taking the scallop out of there. And the edge of my knife, that's much like more in focus than it looks. The edge of my knife is actually touching the two edges of that cabochon. So I'm not cutting in, I'm cutting through the two levels of material, but the knife is finishing on the edge. That way I'm not getting any cuts going into the background timber. And if your knife or your chisel is nice and sharp, it really doesn't take very much to go through. And bear in mind, this stuff's pretty tough. The ambonia isn't, but the ebony certainly is. And these ovals, I just print them out in Word on the computer to whatever shape that I want. And I think I've done it before, I might do it again later on. I cut them out on a piece of paper, and then I do a half circle on MDF, then I do that circle and flip it over, yes, on the router, and then I get that. Once I've got that shape, I then put a bit of perspex on the top, and then with the router cut the perspex out. So I've got a clear, and I've got a template that I can use again and again. All right, now we've lost a bit there, that's all right. I'll put this back in there. Like that. Okay. Now I'll pull this bit out here. Have we gone all the way through? Got a bit there we just got to glue back in. And there's a bit here I haven't quite got. So just find that same spot from side to side. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Now again, that piece you can use for something else, so put it to one side. Whoops. I should have, but I didn't, but I should have put paper on the back of this as well. So the bits that we have fallen to bits now won't actually fall to bits if I had paper holding it all together. But that's okay, we can still fix it. Okay. Now, I'll take this sticky tape off, and that should take all the ebony with it. This stuff is so brittle. And this we can lay back in there. Actually, I might take the sticky tape off of that as well. I'm just going to scrape the paper off of this bit using a cabinet scraper. Then I've got a clear back to work with. And again, that's one of the joys of working with hide glue. It doesn't plasticise like PVAs, so I can get a nice clean scrape. Listen. Okay. Now we'll put this in here. Like that. Put a bit of glue on it. What I'm going to do is just put the glue on the ambonia side, the ebony side, because that ambonia, as soon as it gets a bit of glue on it, it's going to swell up like no one's business, and I won't be able to line everything up. But when you see what goes on, and you have a look at some of that really old furniture with all the inlay work, my goodness, that took a lot of time. I think, I'm open to correction, but I think Louis the 14th, Louis the 15th, no, Louis the 14th's desk took something like 109 workmen 5 years to complete. Nowadays with a CNC, they'd knock it over in a month. Okay. Let's see if I can turn this over and do it this way. Oh dear. You can see the advantage though of taking the time to put paper on the veneer that you're working with. It just holds it together so well. What have we got there? Whoops. Nearly there, nearly there. I did say this requires patience, didn't I? But the end effect is just gorgeous and well worth any of the blood, sweat and toil goes into it. As Winston Churchill would say. There's one little bit here to go. Come on. There you go. I can show you that. So that's how it's looking at the moment. What we've got to do now, I'll flatten this and let it dry off, tack off, and then a slightly larger oval I'll put over the top and we'll cut that, and then we can inlay that into a box and it'll look absolutely stunning. Now the good thing, what you can do if you've got access to a computer, you can take a photo of, I don't care, your dog, your friend, your partner, yourself, auntie, mum, dad, whatever, and then you put it into Photoshop or a similar program, and then you take all the colour out and you end up with a silhouette. And then you can do exactly what I've done there, and you've got a beautiful silhouette of, you know, the person you're going to make the box for or whatever. So I was thinking about doing that. I've got a box I've got to do down the track, and it occurred to me last night if I could get a nice profile of the person it's for and then inlay that into the box, whether you did it on the top of the box or the inside of the top of the box, I don't know. But hang on, let's just see how that one's going. There you go. But it's just quite it's something special that you can do that not everyone's got done. Now that, I will keep that because down the track I can use it to maybe inlay a shell into that, and then I duplicate this because I'm using a 10/8 chisel. I can duplicate these cuts exactly and do exactly what I've done with that cameo and put that into a box. So you're not wasting anything. That's the downside with the double bevel technique, is you do waste a lot of veneer, but the other side of the coin is you do save yourself a lot of time, because if it's a zero gap, then you're not cleaning up. What's going on here? There you go. You're not cleaning up and filling in spaces that's been left by the traditional form of marquetry or packet cutting. Okay, put some veneer on this other thing. Now, see how we go for time. We might do some more on lining that other box. This one here, I've got to put these edges in. Boom, 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 boom. And oh, should I, shouldn't I? Oh no, I'll dock those off. Dock that off. That's clean enough. Okay. I'm just going to clean these up on the table saw. And I'm going to clean this up too because that's a bit how you're going. Hang on, have a chat first. What's happening in the wonderful world of here? ID denatured alcohol is metho. No. Metho, I believe, is about 98% pure. DAA is absolutely pure. And a lot of people have asked me, is there any difference? Yes, there is an extraordinary amount of difference. If you're French polishing and you're using straight metho, you sometimes run into it blocking or not drying quick enough for you, whereas DAA, there is, it's chalk and cheese. It really is. However, saying that, DAA is a lot harder to obtain. I buy it in 60 litre drums, and I'm not sure. I did hear that you had to, you know, prove the reason why you wanted it. So obviously if you're French polishing and you can prove to them you're French polishing with it and not drinking it, you've got a chance. But I'm lucky, a friend of mine buys it in 44s. So whenever he buys a 44 of it, I go down and fill up my 60 litre drum. So I'm just cleaning this up. Get rid of that glue. Ethanol, look, I don't know what ethanol is. I mean, I've heard of ethanol, but it's absolute alcohol. If that's the same as ethanol, ethanol might work. I don't know. I've never tried it. There we go. Sod's Law, yeah, I'm familiar with that one too. Yes, my insides did get a shellacking. Am I that far back? No, I don't think you'll find, James, you can't get DAA from the metho, from the shop. You can get metho from the shop, but DAA you've either got to get from a specialist chemical place or a paint shop. Some paint shops will have it. I've got older ones up in the other shed, much older ones. They're Bear brand ones. They're good. I want to get them down here, so I think I'll have to do that. G'day, Pascal. How are you, my friend? Lovely to have you back in the chat room. Hey, and thanks for all the people that have joined up and maintained their membership. I really appreciate that. For those of you that don't know, you can join the Woodworking Masterclass channel, which gives you benefits and privileges to other videos that don't go on YouTube. They're a bit ad hoc. Any bloopers I have, yep, I put them on there. And also, for example, the Mike Davies videos that I'm putting together at the moment on the wood carving he did last stream, the longer versions will go into the members community forum, and then the shortened versions get put on YouTube. So there's some benefits. Also, if there's something you want and you want to know particularly about woodwork, if you remember, you send me a message and I do my best to do a video of whatever query you had, and then I post that into the members community as well. And we're trying to build, well, it sits there, so we're building a knowledge bank of questions that other people have had, and also little things that I thought might be interesting along the way. So you can use it in time as it grows as a reference for woodworking. But if you don't want to join, that's fine. I'm still happy to have you along. It's just it does help to pay the bills and pays for Bob's food. But if you're liking what you see, please hit the subscribe button. I really want to get to 70,000 as quick as I can. And then, of course, I want to go to 75,000 and then 100. And if you hit the subscribe, hit the notification so you know when I'm streaming. They say it happens most times, but sometimes you don't get notified. But I can guarantee you this time, at this day, wherever you are in the world, I do a stream for at least 3 hours. So there you go. So thanks very much. Hard energy out to all the people that have joined up. I'm sorry I haven't been talking to you as much as I'd like to. Time's getting away, but hopefully now a lot of stuff's sort of cleared here in my house and my home. I can get back to more regular chats with you. Anyway, let's get on with it. Where are we up to? Pascal, I didn't think any brand is better than any other. Is it all alcohol? Ethanol? I don't know. I've always had it referred to, as far as I was aware, ethanol is what they put in petrol and they run race cars on, isn't it? Pure ethanol. But as far as DAA, I couldn't answer that one. Difference between high glue and liquid high glue. The only difference is I've never used liquid high glue. My high glue I buy in pearl form, which is that stuff there, and it keeps for literally years. Whereas I don't know if the mixed up high glue has a shelf life. And also with that glue in a double pot boiler, which I have over there, which I'll show you, hang on, I'll show you. I can manipulate the glue, which I do quite often because, which one we got? That one, there you go. Sometimes I want the glue super runny, other times I want it a bit thicker. And if you're going to get into double boiling, what I do is put, you can see that, it's a nice pretty green colour. I put radiator inhibitor in there, which does a couple of things. It increases the boiling temperature of the water, and I set that particular burner at 100 degrees, which gives me 70 degrees on the glue. So it doesn't boil, so I don't get cavitation and I don't get holes in my double boiler. And the other thing it does is stops the boilers from rusting, because it's a rust inhibitor as well. I've knocked that camera. Well, there you go. Hang on, let me just unknock that camera. I can tell. I can tell. Because I've got a mark on the front of my bench and a mark on the TV screen. And there we go. Now I'm back in the middle. And this one here too. There you go. That's it. Oh, you'll most likely find I'm in the middle of the bench now. Or the middle of the screen. There you go, look at that. See, didn't have to move. Yeah, so I don't know. I've never used a liquid high glue. For me, that stuff's great. I'm amazed just how thin wood can be glued. Oh, yeah. Look, veneer is exactly the same as wood, only it's thinner. And you treat it the same way. Although a friend of mine says, oh, veneer is great stuff. You can plane it, you can scrape it, you can sand it, you can cut it, but don't remove any of it. So, yeah. After a while, to me, 0.6 or 0.7 of a millimetre or 160, what is it, 1/64th of an inch, yeah, I can work with that. There's no dramas. But when you get down to chipboard stuff and it's in microns, yeah, I do have issues with that. That wasn't bad at all, James. You just ask, you never know. Hey, I could be wrong. I don't know. Hey, Dennis. Or should I say, hey, Dennis, up there? Oh, well, there you go, James. Thank you for that. I didn't know that. What most people call alcohol is ethanol. Well, there you go. Thanks for that. I'm not going to put a bottle of 20-year-old scotch in there, though. Oh, what can you do with it, Dan? You can do millions of things with veneer. You can make chessboards, you can decorate boxes, you can make boxes, you can make shaker boxes out of it, you can laminate it, you can make your own. I saw some inlay work here a minute ago. Where did I see that? Oh. It's marvellous. You find all this stuff and then you can't find it when you want it. Here we go. I tell you, it's marvellous. I'm having a great day today. Now that pencil cases, I think that's all veneered. Yep. It's a veneered pencil case, except for that, which is ebony, but that's veneer, that's veneer, that's veneer. On the inside's all veneered. That's on plywood. You can do patterns. That's veneered, that's Zebrano. I was just trying to find this. I am having one of those days today that I just can't find a darn thing in here. And yet yesterday, I had such a great day, I was finding stuff that I hadn't seen for ages. No, I'm looking for these. Edge banding, if you do, oh, here you go. Edge banding, yeah, that's all done with veneers. They're 0.7 of a mil square, all glued together in different shapes and glued together in one great big lot. And then when you cut that, you've got really nice edge banding to go around boxes or whatever it is you choose to use. So veneer has a heap of uses. I like it. Okay, I might cut these back and then I'll glue those on. John Romano, where down the bottom I think there's a join button. John, just have a look under the screen. Hang on, let me have a look. I'll just go to my YouTube channel and have a look see. My channel. And I'll watch my live stream. And it's not showing up there at all because it's mostly on mine. But there should be a button there, subscribe and join, which is a blue button. So if you hit that, that'd be terrific. Thanks, John. Is hide glue as strong as, totally different. It's like plaster Paris and cement. Thing I don't like about Titebond, and I've said it many times, any of those, whether it's Titebond, whether it's Aquahere, whether it's Bondcrete, whether it's Gorilla Glue, who else is there? Or any of those PVAs, oh, the timber will break before the glue does. It's not what I want. As a furniture maker, I want to be able to undo the joint. If I've made a mistake, I want to be able to pull it apart without wrecking it. With hide glue, you can do it. You add a bit of water. You get a syringe. If you've got a chair or something you've got to pull apart, it might be an antique. Just get some warm water in a syringe and you just pump it into the joint or wrap a hot steaming tea towel around it. That'll weaken the glue and it can come apart. But once it's together and it's not going to move on you, which is really, really good. And that's what I want in the glue. So yeah, to answer your question, Titebond is, pearl glue or hide glue isn't as strong as Titebond, but it's more preferable for me as a furniture maker to use. The other thing is a lot of people now rely on the glues or the adhesives to make up for poor workmanship. If you're making a table, you're making a chair, you're making a drawer, dovetails, mortise and tenon, lap joint, or not lap joint, dovetail lap joint, it's the fit that's meant to hold it together, not the glue. But a lot of people don't want to do that. They want to do it as quick as they can, use a good glue, and then it won't fall apart. So, and that's me being old school. What do you have your mind blown? Look up how thin you hammer out gold. Yeah, absolutely, Dan. And if you work with gold leaf in the slightest breeze, it just disappears. I've never done gold leaf. There's one thing I really wanted to do, and we were going to do it at one stage, but never got around to it, but watching people when they're laying gold leaf onto a statue or onto some gesso work, as Mike was talking about last week, yeah, they've just got a block in their hand and it's just a little like that, and the leaf jumps up, they catch it with the brush and then just brush it in. Fantastic. Oh, thanks, Dennis, appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, actually, if you like that pencil box, Stephen, there's a set, what do they call it? A playlist on YouTube of how I've done it. So I might put that in, I'll put that in a reference video later on, but if you look it up, I make a range of 6 pencil cases, and then that particular pencil case I think takes 6 episodes to do. Ah! Michael, all the best to you, my friend. I hope it relieves your pain. How much water do you mix with high quality? Just cover it. G'day, Ro, from Portugal. Thank you, appreciate that. Yeah, look, what you want, when I mix it up, what do we got? We got time? Yeah, we've got time. I'll mix some up for you now, because I'm going to need some in a minute. Okay, so any container you use, it doesn't matter. That's the beads there. And then just get some water, cover that. Okay, see how that's covered? Now I just put a pencil in there just to move it around. But that's it. Now we'll leave that for about 10-15 minutes till the end of the stream, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Then I put it in a double boiler and add water until I get this consistency here. It's got to be the consistency basically of, oh, that's just gone off. Ah. Okay, I have that set on 100 degrees, and the consistency I want is about that of a good enamel paint. You see that? Just dribbles off the brush nicely. If I put too much water in there, which I'll do, okay, that's, if I'm gluing veneer, putting paper on veneer, this is how runny I'll have it. So that's breaking apart about 5 inches, 4 inches down from the brush. It's starting to bead. It's not a solid stream, so that's too runny. But the great thing is, if it's too runny, I just leave that on for 15 minutes, half an hour, and the excess water will evaporate off, and then I've got the consistency that I'm looking for. If it's too thick, it's too hard to move around, so that's not a good thing. But we'll have a look at that stuff. I'll just put the water in a minute and I'll show you where that comes from. Oh dear. Rui, thank you for that, yes. If you have joined, the button goes, oh, there you go. Oh, well, I don't think I've joined myself, perhaps I did. Joining next is next to the subscription button. Thank you. All right. That's it. All right, now, what was I going to do? Cut these up. I'm just going to trim these up on the table saw, so I'll swing that around. So you can see me over there. Yes, Ray, it's a bit of a mess, but not too bad. Oh dear. Plonk these on the floor. This is one of the other boxes I'll be making later on, that style with the curved sides. So it's quite nice just doing boxes. Well, I'm going to say you don't have to think, but you do have to think. but it's nice. Okay. And I'll make all these about the same. No, I'm going to have to that one's alright. This one needs a bit of a touch up. Just got a bit of excess veneer hanging over the edge. Actually, we'll make some edge banding in the stream one day, because that's fascinating. And you can really personalise what it is you're doing. People say, oh, that's nice, where'd you get that? Did you buy it? I mean, I've got some board edge banding, but I really don't like using it. I bought it, crikey, it must be 20 years ago, and I think I've only used one piece of it, because it's much more interesting to make your own, and it's unique as well, which is good. I mean, if you're doing work, you'd like it to be unique. So let's see how we're going to go here. Okay, that one's done. Clean this one off. Okay. That made Bob move. Ooh, there's noise. What's happening? It's funny, you know, I do get tempted. Someone mentioned tight bond before. And I get tempted and I go, oh, yeah, I'll just use a bit of that. But I know what it's going to do to my job down the road, and therefore I don't want to use it. Because they all develop what they call creep. There's a table that I made, oh, it must be 30 years ago now, in the hallway of my house. And I just walked past it yesterday. I'm pretty happy with this, what they call a Pembroke style, which is a drop leaf table with a wooden hinge that comes out to hold the leaves up, and I'm really quite proud of it. And I went past it the other day, just ran my hand over, it's built out of sapelli. I ran my hand over it and I could feel the glue line. Gee, I was disappointed. And that glue line is a result of using a PVA glue. And you can rub it back, you can clean it off, but it will come back. It's just one of those things. All right. I know I've got a brush, I should use the brush. Okay. Spin this around this way. And there we are. So what I'm going to do here is just put these in. Now the reason they have chili and myrtle either side is because I want a very subtle pink line all the way around. So that's the reason for that. I'm just going to clean that up a bit. Because I also want to have it flush at the top. It's an advantage of having nice sharp tools. You can just clean things out. Okay, that's good. It's a One there. I'll just put that one in. Okay, after saying this is too runny, which it is, doesn't matter, I'll use it. Just means I've got to keep it glued for maybe a little bit longer. Double glue, so I glue all areas that are going to be in contact with each other. The other great thing I like about hide glue, I don't have to use super hard clamping pressure on it because it dries and glues in two ways. When it cools, it shrinks, which helps pull the mating surfaces together, and then when the moisture goes, whether it soaks into the timber or evaporates, it also pulls your job in because it shrinks. So there's a couple of good advantages with hide glue. Okay, and that's all I need, just a bit of masking tape on there, and that will hold that in there nicely. Next one, let's get in there and make sure it's clean. Okay, I'm going to knock a little bit off that one again. That one's nice there, I think. Yep. And you can see it's dribbling down there. It really doesn't matter. That's why I never sand before I get everything put together, because working with veneer, you got to accept you haven't got much to work with, so you need as much of the body of the material to clean up, just in case you make a mistake or whatever. Okay, I'm just going to trim this one off here because I haven't got that ebony going right to the top. So I'll be back in a tick. Hopefully I've got enough in there. Yep, that's good. Okay, so I've got a glue dribble here I've got to clean up. Normally, if I'm doing this, I'd be doing this all in one go. When I put the top together, I'd be putting these edges on, and this one has been, actually, I think this one's been sitting there for a couple of months now. I want to get it finished because there's another one I want to do. And what I came up with yesterday, actually, I was having a coffee, as is my wont, in my local coffee shop. And I came up with the idea, I just want to do a range of ebony boxes and maybe come up with 7 different shapes. So an oval one, a hexagonal one, octagonal one, serpentine one, square one, oblong, secret drawers, and maybe go to a gallery and see if I can get an exhibition happening. Not that that's a big thing of mine, but I just find it to be interesting. It's quite funny because while I had this thought, I wonder if there's any ebony boxes on, and of course there was some of Andrew Crawford's work, which is, those of you who know me for a while know I really admire his work, and he has inspired me to really push the boundaries in upmarket box making. But the other one that came up was a mate of mine, and I thought it was so funny. There's his ebony boxes, and I didn't know that he'd made ebony boxes. So that's a phone call I've got to make later on, just to say g'day, mate. Let me just cut this one off too. Cut this one off here. Back on the TikTok. Yeah, I've changed my mind so many times about this particular box and what I'm going to do, and I'm sort of thinking that cabochon that we've just done might look nice in here, and I looked over to the saw. Gee, I'm hoping that's right, I didn't check it. We'll find it. Now, and that's another thing. Okay, I look down here, and if it's not right, instead of panicking and trying to fix it, because it's got a lump of glue in there or something, I'll just wait until the glue dries, but that's pretty good, and fix it up then. I think we all sort of get this pressure that, oh, it's got to be fixed. Well, it doesn't have to get fixed right away. You can go and have some lunch, leave it for a week, come back and then have a look at it when you're not quite as flustered. I mean, you all saw me get a bit flustered today when I couldn't find that bit for the scroll saw, but it's no dramas, I'll find it. It's around there somewhere because I was using the saw last night. Okay, so those edges are on. The next thing I've got to do is fit the edges in here, and I'll do that, later on. Not today, but soon. Okay, whoever asked me about the glue, there you go, that's the glue now. If you can see, it's all set. So it's quite rubbery. And what I do when I put that into the glue pot, I just actually caress the sides like that, and it'll just come out like a lump of jello. And then you put some water in and melt it down, and after a while you'll get the idea of the consistencies you need. Tell you what, before we break, I'll just see if this is done, this cabochon. I'll clean it up, but if it's slightly, I'm not sure, I won't do it because I don't want to wreck it. But we'll have a look, we'll have a look. Oh no, I think that'll work. Okay. Now, bearing in mind, that's the back. That's the front. Get a little bit of double-sided tape, I think, just to hold that in place. If and I can find some. Here we go. Yeah, we'll try this. I don't know if this is good stuff or rubbishy. No, this is rubbishy stuff. It's not the good stuff I use, but it might. Oh, these are good stuff I use. Here we go. We'll give it a shot. Okay, now I'll put the double-sided tape on so this template, we'll go all cams, this template won't move. And I would feel a lot more comfortable if I had paper on the other side, which I don't, but that's okay. I'll just take it easy. With veneer too, you just can't rush it. Remind of Jeff Hanna one day screamed to me when I was working in his workshop. He'd asked me to do something and I was doing it, but it was taking too long, so I decided I'd increase the depth of cut. And from the back of nowhere you hear, if it takes 728 strokes, it'll take 728 strokes. So if this is going to take 100 strokes in 15 minutes, it's going to take 100 strokes in 15 minutes. What have we got? My shed is a lot messier. Oh, well, there you go, Ray. I feel good. What time is it here, Dan? 10 past 12, 10 past midday. Getting close to my lunchtime. Now with burl, you just got to be so careful because it'll break out. It's basically the fibres are pointing upwards and all over the place. It's not like nice straight grain timber where you can see the grain direction. So you just don't rush it, take your time. What do I use? What? Mike says, what's the opinion of French cleats? Yeah, look, I like them. Yeah, French cleats are good. I got one on a toolbox. My light board, which I made, used to be on a French cleat until I needed the wall space. I think they're a great idea. Really are. And easy to make. What have we got? One more question. What do you do with the corners of a simple box with veneer? One more question. What do you do with corners? I'll see if I've got one here. Exactly the same as what I did. Well, here's one. This is a little bit more than a simple box, but it will. Whoops, sorry, Bob. No, will it? No, it won't. Let me see, what have I got? What have I got? What I normally do is just... Oh, look at that! Ah, isn't it great? Thanks for that, Dan. I've been looking at this for ages. This is, that's also made out of veneer, individual little bits. And I used to put that on when I'd make a box. I'd cut a slither of that off, which I'll do now. I'll do it on the bandsaw. Hang on, spin around. I'll use Nancy's bandsaw. There you go. Let's see. Oh, I'm going to need a bit more than that. we go. There you go, so I just cut it off of there, and then I just inlay that into the bottom of the box, round the corners off, and then sand it, and that was my mark for expensive fine boxes. So there you go. What I generally do with veneered boxes, it's no different to what we did there when I was cleaning up this box. If you don't want to do anything flash Harry with it, you just actually feather the veneers together, and then you won't see the join, or there. So you feather it over and just sand it, so you get a solid join like that. What I prefer to do is put a solid, that's my Marquetry 101 project. There you go. But I like putting solid edges, so I just cut out a rebate and then put solid edges in. I do the tops first, then the uprights, and then the bits on the bottom if that's what I want to do. So yeah, you can do it just by feathering it in or using solid edges, depending what you want to do. What do I get up to? I'm still cutting this, aren't I? My corner of the garage is around. Jello, how American? Yeah, I know. What can I say, Ray? Because if I said aeroplane jelly, people will go, what's that? Is that a lubricant you put on the biplanes? We have some double-sided tape. Yeah, I love double-sided tape. Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, I've got to use the router again soon. I'm going to therapy classes, so I think I'll be up for it soon. Now, this is the stuff I use. It's KIKUSUI tape. Very expensive. That's about $40 or $50 for the roll. But it's sailmaker's tape, and it is very, very good. You can leave it on for a couple of days and still take it off, whereas these really cheap and nasty ones you can get off eBay for $1 a roll. If, and I stress if, they do stick, you got to get them off straight away, because or else they just go to a gum and it stains your timber, which isn't what we want. I tell you what, I think, ladies and gentlemen, we might have a win here. A little bit more to go there. Oh, I think that's it. Okay. So now we've got that. And if I carefully can take that tape off, normally, under normal circumstances, I would leave this for at least a day, but because it's year lot, I'll rush it. And I used to only use sellotape, but I couldn't find the brand of sellotape I use, and so I've changed over to some other stuff, just a generic one, and it seems to be working all right. Ah, no. I'm not going to do it because it just come up from together there. So I'll put that back and we'll do it next stream because the glue's not quite dry enough. So that's it. Now, which way is that one going? You got to hold your tongue the right way too. There we go. Ah! All right, I'll glue that one up with a tab of super glue, but next stream we'll have that out and we can inlay that into a box. Oh, g'day Angry, how are you mate? Just about to wrap up. I make things look easy. you should be inside my stomach at the moment. Ah, what's going on? Ah, it's all good. I like airplane jelly. Oh dear. About to stream myself, I thought I'd stop by. Well, at dinner. Well, thanks, Angry. Well, enjoy your stream. Same thing with anything. Yeah, tongue direction is very, very important. So on that note, I'll finish this off. It's 20 past. I think Mike Davies has started a trend. It's after 12 o'clock. So that's it. Thanks everyone for being here. Thanks from the moderators. Thanks for the people that joined up the channel. Thanks for those that subscribed. Thanks for those that were in the chat room. And thanks for those that were just lurking and having a good time. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, don't be shy about asking them. My email address is admin@woodworkingmasterclass.com.au and I'll be back next week. Mr. W! Oh, how are you, mate? Haven't seen you for yonks. We should have a coffee, I think. That'd be a good idea. Oh, thanks, Ed. I appreciate that. Bye, Dan. Thanks for that, Ray. All right, so this is Steve pulling the shed door down and saying, remember to keep it sharp, but more importantly, keep it safe. Look after yourself. Be kind to each other. And I look forward to having your company in the workshop, at the bench, again, very, very soon. Till then, Bob's asleep. I'm off. So God bless. Have a great whatever until we meet again. Keep on practicing. And remember, tongue direction is important. Bye for now.